Hey, what's up guys? I decided to make another video, this time on One Piece again, part 2. I should have made a part 2 earlier, because I'm like way further ahead now, but whatever, it is what it is. I believe when I last made a video, it was before the Ines lobby, and now I'm up to the Fishman Island. So, quite a few arcs went through. Um, I kind of I don't know, like this shit was really good. Like I'm trying to think of, I can't even, I can like barely remember the arcs in between those two. Um, well, the first, like the getting the coding on the boat, that was a good one. Just introducing good characters and stuff like that. Um, but of course, like Inez Lobby and uh, fuck is it? Marineford are obviously the best. I've heard people talk about Marineford. I had no idea really what it was, um, or what it entailed until I watched it, obviously. But um, it was amazing. But first, I want to go through the Inez lobby, and then I'll try to think of things for the other arcs. But Inez lobby was really good. Um, I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed like Luffy like declaring war with the government. Although I actually hope something comes from that because the government's a piece of shit. I like how like it starts out in the beginning and you're kind of like, oh, there's some bad apples, like there is everywhere. But it's like nah, like they're dirty. Like yeah, there's some okay people who genuinely believe what they're doing is right, but you just can't, the shit that they're doing, you can't accept it. It's too far. I fucking hate that guy. I can't remember his name. I want to mention this because this guy pisses me off. Please tell me he dies. Okay, don't spoil, but please, I hope he dies. That motherfucker in the gold suit with that fucking look, that disgusting ass fucking look. I hate him. I hate him so much. It's not even, I'm not even joking. The way he speaks, the way he looks, the way he acts. I fucking hate this guy. Like literally, if there was one admiral to kill, one character, one entire character to kill in One Piece, that's the one. I actually get upset because that dude pisses me off to no end. But yeah, Ina's lobby. So, going to get Robin back, that was really good. Her backstory was super sad. And that's kind of when it's revealed, like that the government is like fucked up, like that there's something behind the scenes, and like they're not just like this, they're not just like a few bad guys, working in the Navy or whatever. Like it's like from the top. Well, I don't want to say from the top because there are some good characters like in there. Like I think Smoker's all right. Like he's annoying, but he's fine. And I just think that, but like I guess like what I'm saying is it's not the minority, it's the majority. Um, so yeah, that shit was just incredible. Uh, the fight was really good. I think they started it too early. I'm not a big fan of when they do the thing of like they meet up and then they start fighting and they're basically just like barely fighting. Like throughout episodes they'll just show them barely fighting and then at the end they do that. But at least it was better than Luffy fucking getting stuck in a wall again. So it was cool. That fight was good. That one guy, I can't remember his fucking name, the guy who killed Tom, and the guy who, took Robin, was beating the shit out of her. When he died, that was like a hallelujah type moment, bro. Especially when she broke his fucking back. I was hoping he wasn't dead and this motherfucker was just paralyzed from the neck down. Piece of shit. Fucking hate that guy too. But for some reason, I don't hate him as much as the other guy. It's just his look, I guess. But no, I do hate him. He's a fucking piece of shit. But him getting ended like that was really nice. And Robin, that moment of I want to live. I've heard about that. I've seen like a meme about that or something. So I knew that something like that was coming, but it didn't make it hit any less hard. When you really see how far that they went for Robin, and she definitely is a member of the crew, and I like her a lot. And I also want to talk about Frankie. I really fucking thought that what did I stop last video? Did I mention Frankie in the last video? I don't know, but Frankie is a character I was like this show is so good where I'm like, oh fuck this guy, whatever. Like I didn't hate him, but he was annoying. I was like, you know what? Like, obviously you deserve to get your ass beat. You know, Frankie Crew deserves to get its ass beat. You know, this dude's running around in a fucking speedo everywhere, being a freak, and you know, but just his character was so good. And when he joined the crew, he really did like make something like special. Like I mentioned in the last video, I didn't really want any more crew members because you know the dynamic is so good. But then I said, you know, there'll be, you know, they'll end up like making me love him too, and they did that with Frankie. Like he's just a fun character, and I really like him. And he's, you know, he's there, he's with them, he's, you know, he's as in as everybody else, you know. Um. Oh, and what the fuck's his name? I can't believe I'm forgetting. Brooke. Brooke. Yeah, that shit was good. I didn't like that arc that much. Like, it wasn't bad, but it definitely wasn't the best out of them. The island one. I think that the villain was like annoying as shit, and they didn't even kill him off at the end, which kind of sucked. That was she died, but the ending with you know, Zoro taking that hit was so fucking good. Obviously, I'm pretty sure that's like gotta be a peak moment in One Piece because him just saying like nothing happened was so clean, and it really did show, which I like this because you know, like throughout the whole show, Luffy's just going hard, right? And even if it doesn't show like all the time physically, he is like literally killing himself. He is going too hard. Like he is, you know, he's the one that needs to step up and do all these things, you know. And while like I'm not saying like Zoro and Sanji and shit like that are weak, but they're always like, you know, we need Luffy for this. And you know, as the captain, he should be there, but it's just like he's literally like harming himself, like, you know, doing all this shit. Um, so when he like, you know, gets a taste of that, and he's like, oh shit, like, you know, and he's freaking like not freaking out, but you know, he's like screaming, and then they give him the full blast. I really like that because it's like they understand, like that's how he feels. Like, well, I'm not 100% sure. Is that how he feels? I think so, because that's they said that that's all the pain and fatigue that he feels, I guess. Because I was just thinking like maybe because he's stronger he didn't feel as much, but no, I don't think that's it. But yeah, Zoro taking that hit. Zoro and Luffy are fucking amazing. I love their friendship. It's so good. Zoro always getting lost is funny as fuck. I love that trope. Not trope, I don't know, but um that was so good. And you know, it's just it was a good arc. It was good, but it just wasn't my favorite. But it had its good moments. Uh, let's save it. That is chocolate milk, if you're wondering. Anyway, it was just you know, it was all right. But Brooke really saved it. Oh yeah, okay. So I want to mention Brooke, right? So, you know, I've seen Brooke like on posters and shit like that, but I thought he was a side character. I had no idea. Like with a lot of these characters, like I don't remember ever seeing Frankie. So like when they asked him to join the crew, I was like, oh shit, is he actually gonna join or no? Like, is this gonna be another VV situation? But no, he joins, which is good. The ship is cool as fuck. The Going Merry, like rest in peace. But yeah, we needed a cool new ship, and this one's actually fucking awesome. Um, yeah, it's just it's cool. But man, I'm just it was such a good arc. That whole arc was really good. What the fuck did I can't remember when I ended the video last time, but like, you know, if it was before that and it was you know, that before the arc where Frankie appears, that whole arc was peak as well. The whole like we the Straw Hats get framed and then it's Robin and then you know you wonder why and then it turns out she's trying to save them and then you know it was such a good arc like where everyone's after them, and I think that it was really good, like just really good to see that. And then you know eventually they get like, you know, they get uh proven innocent. They get the Frankie crew and like everyone, you know, to go fight for Robin and Frankie. That was awesome seeing all them to come together. I can't believe I can't remember if I mentioned that in the video, but um I'm just gonna keep going. So Brooke, once again, yeah, I heard about him. It was such a good story, like with him in the waiting for 50 years and then bringing back Laboon. It was something where I was like, okay, that's cool. Like, I don't know if that's originally like I don't know how far like this is planned ahead, but if it's like not even like that's just smart. Like that's just a good idea. Um, but yeah, he ended up being awesome, and I like how he joined the crew. I wasn't sure if he would once again, because it's always like they have their own thing they kind of want to do, but then it's like, no, like let's go on an adventure type shit. And it was just so good. Like Brooks became a really good, so, really good member of the crew. And then I forget the song he was singing. Someone's booze or whatever. Blinky's booze was actually good, and the song he sings when the group reunites was awesome as well. But unless I think of anything else, I want to jump into Marine Ford because that's the one everybody talks about and I've heard about, and it's something special. I gotta say, it's something where after the prison arc, which was pretty good, I enjoyed that. I just felt like that one guy. Now I can't remember his name, but the Mr. Two was like, awesome. I loved him when he came back in like the first, and he protected the ship and then he ends up like dying for the whole gang. That shit hit me actually. But, I just man, that shit hit hard actually. But not as hard, obviously as spoiler, whatever, Ace's death. That shit hit. Like at first I was really pissed at Ace. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like this is your fault. Like there'll be like these moments like in between, but and then they'll explain it, and you're like, oh okay. But with Ace being whatever uh Gold Roger's son, I had no idea. I did not know about that like at all. Especially because him and Luffy look so similar. So it was like, oh, they can be brothers. Uh, I can't remember the dude's name, but I'm also sure San, like the other brother that they think is dead. I'm pretty sure he's alive and with the revolutionaries. I like like that death hit hard, but then it was like when they show him coming back on the ship, they're like all that person's like get this person treatment immediately. And I thought it was Dragon at first because it's like oh they don't show you him, but then it's I'm pretty sure it's that guy. So um, which was terrible. Like that whole shit with him and his family. Like what a bunch of pieces of shit. I fucking hated them too. Like One Piece is so good at making you hate people, but it's like the hate where you're just like angry. Like fuck these people, whatever. But seeing Luffy's early days and how he met Ace and what he was doing was so good. And they do that after Ace dies, which makes it hit harder. I don't know if it would have hit harder if they did it before or not, but it's still because before you really didn't know Ace that much. He appeared in the Alabasta arc a little bit, and then we saw him try to fight Blackbeard, about to fight Blackbeard. He didn't see him try to fight him. Which, by the way, Blackbeard, if he's the big villain, bro, he's a bitch. Like, that's gonna be. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna be wrong. So, write this shit down. But he's gonna be, he's a piece of shit, and he's like, well, obviously, but like, he's such a bitch. Whitebeard hits him, he's like, fuck you. I couldn't fucking stand that guy either. But because it's like I hate people that talk big and then they get their ass beat and they're like, bitches. Like that one guy, who Robin killed. Like, he's constantly like flaunting his power and all that. Well, not his power. He knows he's weak, which I, at least appreciate that. He he knows he's a bitch. Um yeah, so that was something where I was pretty annoyed. Let's see. I literally completely lost my train of thought. Um Oh yeah, okay. So I was talking about Blackbeard. So yeah, they're setting him up, I think, to be the big villain next, or not next necessarily. It feels like we have these kind of not filler, but arcs in between arcs. Like there's an arc in between uh them getting out of there, and then getting out of Ina's lobby, and then between like that and I can't remember what the next arc is like after that, but you know what I mean. Like there's like a gap where yes, it's main story stuff, but it's not like they put that stuff about the government on the back burner, and they show all these admirals and stuff early on. They show Doflamingo early on, with them trying to get a new pirate lead or whatever. So it was kind of like, okay, what are you doing with that? So it's stuff like that where they set things up in the back, or like even like forward. It's like, because what's gonna happen after Marineford? But jumping into Marineford, like I said, that is something I have never seen before in an anime, where you're seeing this character, and it reminds me of Bleach, when they go to save Orihime, and it's like everyone's like, you're not strong enough, you're just not strong enough, and it's just them, like no one else. So it was like, obviously something's gonna happen, like you're gonna get your ass beat, but like when he's there and he's in the middle of this huge battle and everyone's trying to fucking stop him from saving Ace and all this and whatever, and it was just so good, because they don't show you where the gang is, they show you before where they ended up after that, but they show you nothing else. And I'm like, oh, they're gonna show up, right? They're gonna show up, right? Like, because that's what happens. But it didn't, and that hit hard. Like that. Like I like that. Like that was like Luffy's lowest moment, and they weren't there. And I'm not blaming them or anything like that. It just that just made it hit even harder. Where it's like, holy shit, because he's been like, it's once again, it's not their fault, but it's like he's been through with everyone. Like he's helped everyone out when they desperately needed him. And after they find out what happened, which I thought that they might be watching the live stream, because the Buggy the Clown one was still on when Ace died, I believe. Um, yeah, it was something where I thought, because they do that in TV and movies where it's like, oh, they're broadcasting it on the screen and the other people are watching it, but they didn't know. So that was like, that hit afterwards. But I kind of wish like it was cool seeing their like, you know what they thought immediately, but I would have liked to seen like them react to it live, just to see how like fucked up Luffy was, because that shit was insane. And I also appreciate he didn't go crazy. Like he just like breaks at that moment, and you're just like, holy shit, like I get it, man. Like yeah, like just rest type shit, where it's like, Jesus. Like, because he's also pushing his body to the limit, like over the limit, like he's like really fucked up. And just for all that, for them to like get Ace and him to die like that, they think you think he's safe for a second, and then they're like, nah, never mind. But yeah, also Mr. 3, I fucking hated him too, and they make you kind of like him, where he's like, he's all right. um I don't really like Buggy the Clown. I actually like him more in the live action than I do in this. He's just like kind of annoying to me, like in there, but like he doesn't feel really that threatening uh, at all. Like I really just don't care about him. So but maybe that happens in the show when they get farther along. Either way, I just think Buggy's like kind of just, I don't know, stupid. I don't, I don't know. You know. But anyway, yeah, going back to Marineford, you see those admirals, and I'm really like, I want the pirates to win. And I've heard people say like, oh, they're just doing their jobs or whatever, and I'm telling you, if that one admiral, well, okay, two, well, I think the guy's a vice admiral, I'm not sure, but the guy, Magma, who killed Ace, if they let him slide, nah, you're not doing that. Oh, that was your job. Like, nah, fuck you. Because these people, like, they take pleasure in it too, and I hate that whole fucking thing of like, oh, uh, the end justifies the means, or like, you do this, you're evil, and we have the right to get rid of you. And it's just like, fuck you. Like, I can't stand that moral grandstanding type shit. And it was like, that's what the world government is. And basically the guys explained it when we saw Robin's backstory about what happened, but I'm interested to see what's gonna go on with this? Oh, so what I mean, by the way, by the filler arcs in between, it's kind of like how Fishman Island or whatever it's called is in between that, and I'm assuming the New World. So it's like something like that, where they're trying to go to the New World, but then this happens. Um, but yeah, so that was. I really don't want them to get away with this. I think that the government needs to go down hard. I don't know when that's gonna happen, but I think if it hasn't happened yet, it's like endgame shit. Like that's some shit where it's going to happen. Because they've set it up as too much of a villain to let it kind of keep going. After what it did to Robin and everyone else. With the whole Gold Roger and his son thing, where like they're like taking pregnant women, like killing one who's suspicious. Like killing pregnant women who are suspicious. We're like, nah, 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 nah. But I just, you can't let that slide. It's gone too far, I think. And even though we don't really know, I guess we don't know who the world leaders are. I thought we did, but I guess those must have been like the top admirals and shit. But yeah, it was just, it's they need to take it down. Like it needs to happen. I don't know how it's gonna happen. Like maybe they team up with Dragon or all this shit or whatever. But it's gotta happen. If it doesn't happen, I don't know why I'm saying if it doesn't happen, it's gonna happen. But it's just a matter of when. But if they let these people kind of slide, maybe a few of them, like maybe a Koji, I still don't fuck with him. Like he had his moment where he let Robin go, and he's like, because after he like basically fucks her over by giving the guy the golden snail to summon all those warships and shit. And so I was like, oh fuck this guy. But then he's like, I have a duty to watch over you because my friend, wanted you to live, basically. So it was like, so you're like, oh, he's not that bad. But then they go into Marineford, and it's like, I'm kind of not fucking with you now. But 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 like still, he's not as bad as the other ones, and I just don't want them to slide, especially the fucking Gold Suit guy. I'm begging you to kill him. Like something I really want to see, because they have the whole time skip training arc, which I like actually, because it kind of builds up to that where they're like progressively weaker and weaker. Like when all of them get sent away, that shit was like really like sad though too for Luffy. Like that was traumatizing too, because he's just like watching all his friends like he thinks die, and he can't do anything, and it's like holy shit, man. Like that shit does hit hard. But oh, also the Amazonian island thing was good. I thought it was gonna be like kind of, I don't know, like it seemed like it would kind of be like filler, not like where they put it, but like I've heard about that, and I was like, oh, it's gonna be like some filler shit. But the way that they did it, and like the way that they make you like Boa Hancock is fucking hilarious. I just like, obviously she first appears, she's literally kicking puppies. So you're like, okay, fuck her, and then you get her explanation and all this shit, and she kind of softens a little bit, and she's in love with Luffy, and that's a cool dynamic. I like that. I like seeing that because there isn't really any dynamics like that. I mean, there's Sanji, but the, like they don't play it serious. Like there is no like, you know, like I thought during the Island Nightmare Island or whatever arc that when he said, you took my dream, it was gonna be like to marry Nami or something. But then they didn't go that serious. It was the invisibility devil fruit, and yeah, so it's just played as a joke. So I like seeing that. Like Boa is too, but she like it's put as a joke, but she actually like puts her life on the line for Luffy, during the battle and does all this shit to help him. So it's really like yeah, she's there for him. I don't know though if I want Luffy to end up with her. I just that's like a hard one where I do like her, but I just don't. I don't know. Obviously they're not going with that, but I'm just thinking, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna say this, right? This could be a controversial kind of thing, right? I wouldn't mind it if Luffy and Nami got together. I don't know. I just feel like that would work. Um, because it's like he's the only one that gave that he gave the hat to, at least in like a special moment where because I remember seeing that fucking Usopp was wearing the hat for a little bit when he was fighting the guy, and he had the no, it was another time. But like this is a more serious moment. I just felt like they kind of have those moments sometimes where it's like it's not necessarily romantic, but it's special, you know? So I would kind of like to see that. I know like they're probably not going to do anything with that, but it's like if there were one people to get together, that would be the one I'd choose. And somehow they make you like that one fucking ghost girl that is annoying as fuck. I can't. It's just insane. It's because she's annoying as fuck, and then they send Zoro to where she is, and they kind of got a thing going on, like not romance. Well, I don't know what's romance. Like usually I'm able to tell, but like I don't know if like I mean like with her feeling things for him, like it kind of seems like that way. Like how Boa Hancock has feelings for Luffy, but it seems like obviously I think I like heard like it's about adventure, so they're not really like focusing on romance or anything like that. But um, I just think that like they have some stuff like that, and I wouldn't mind if they explored it. Basically, is what I'm saying. But yeah, that'd be the one I'd choose if I had to choose. But yeah, yeah, I'd like Luffy at the play the island of maidens or whatever, the maiden island, because if it was Sanji, it would have just been annoying. Like, oh, I'm horny, basically, like thirsty after all these women. But I like that Luffy's just like, whatever. Like obviously he's a better man than 99% of us. Um, because he doesn't even care a little bit, right? But I like that. He becomes friends with these people and he respects them. It's not just like, oh, you're pretty, da da da. You know, and Sanji does care for like Nami and Robin and shit like that, but it's like it's different, and he would have never become friends with any of the Amazonian women because he would just like take it like, oh, you're a woman, like I have to hit on you, whatever, and he just Luffy's just kind of like like who likes who he likes and does what he does, and I really enjoyed that. It felt really nice. And so it's something different. It was like it was cool. Um, let's see. I'm trying to think. Okay, Marineford. I'm gonna jump into Marineford again. Um, like Luffy getting away was tense as fuck. Like you kind of he does, but like that shit was insane. How it's like that was almost like a stronger battle. Like and everyone has to like protect him, and I really do like that. Where it's like the Whitebeard gang kind of like Whitebeard immediately is like, okay, this kid's kind of like cool, whatever. Although he doesn't get to that point where because he's not around long enough to be like, yeah, this kid's gonna be king of the pirates, But he's like he appreciates his strength, like kind of respects him a little bit. So it's like and then like towards the end, all of the Whitebeard gang is like, okay, protect Luffy. Like we have to protect Luffy. If we don't, we fail. And he's just fucking out of it, man. That was crazy. It's like if he had his eyes closed or something, that would be nowhere near his back. But he's just like with the white eyes was insane. But yeah, getting out of that, Jinbei's the goat. He's really cool. I wasn't sure about him at first, but he really did put everything on the line for Luffy. Uh, V was awesome. I loved him as well. Him, her. I think it's him. Um, well, it is both because it can change genders. That shit was insane. Imagine just being a guard, minding your own fucking business. They just change you into a woman. Like, damn, bro. Like, I don't. But I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we could actually tell that's what they wanted because it seems like as soon as they do it, they kind of become happy about it. Minus that one guy, like the yellow hair guy, but that was just they said because he wasn't ready to do that yet. But maybe he knows. I don't know who wants that or whatever. But So yeah, V was the GOAT once again, like just there for Luffy, helping him out, like fighting alongside him. It was good. It was good, and like that's the crew I like. But it's just it was so different, from what we've seen before. It's like Luffy's on his own, on his biggest battle yet. Like this is for his brother. Like this is the moment where everyone's supposed to come together and like you know fight with Luffy. And once again, I'm not like saying like, oh, they abandoned him, whatever. They had their own shit. They couldn't like they were trapped on different islands. They didn't know what was going on. But especially since they don't show what they're doing at that moment, you're like, okay, it's been a few days. Like they went to they had the whole Amazon arc thing. Then it was them getting here, going through the prison and all that shit. So it's like maybe they could get there, and they don't show it. And I think that they knew that, and that's why they did it, because they let you have that like faith up until the very end that they're gonna be there, and then they're not. It's like, oh, like that hit hard. Like it's especially at the end when Luffy finally wakes up, on Main's Island, and he's just like, you know, like where's Ace? Where's Ace? Like that was so fucked up. Like that was so sad. But then he's like, think about all the people. Jinbei's like, think about all the people you have, and he thinks about his crew. And then when the crew finds out the news, they're immediately trying to like run towards him, and I do really like that. Because they're like, oh shit, he needs me. Like he needs me. And it was really well done. And then I like how at the end, when Luffy gives the message, and they're just like, we have to get stronger, like for Luffy, for to keep going, to keep up with him, basically, and everyone is training. And I thought Usopp was gonna be less of a bitch, but then they made him a bitch again. Like he had his moment where he's like, he's cool. He's still, I think he does, obviously he does better after his training, but like immediately after with the sea monsters and shit, he's like freaking out. Um, but yeah, that shit was. But like, yeah, it was good seeing like their reactions to that, and it's like what they need. They need to get to Luffy. Well, they need to get to the meeting point, which man, like once again, like I said, so I like that, and then it kind of turns from that to like, okay, like it's time to step it up. Basically, the Straw Hats need to be stronger than ever. So they each do their own thing, and I like that. It's obviously like you want them together, but I do appreciate that they took this time to kind of like basically it's just training for all of them. Like I don't know if anything else happened. I don't really think so, because it seemed like Nami was on the Weather Island for super long. Zoro was training with Mihawk, which holy shit! Once again, Mihawk is cool. I love fucking Mihawk. He's awesome. Where he bows down to him, he's like, "Help me, like train me," and I really like that because and then Mihawk's like, "Wow, for you to bow down for me, someone you consider an enemy, no one ever bows down for someone for themselves, you know, something like that." He says something like that, and so he decides, to help him out a little bit, and that was so good too, because I don't know, I really do appreciate that, and I hope that I know Luffy's got to be the strongest. Like he's got to be. He's the main character. With Zoro and Sanji behind him. But I want all of them to be able to hold their own now. Like where they're at the point where it's like, where if it's Chopper, Nami, and Usopp, they're good, basically. And I hope we're at that point where it's like, okay, like once again, they're not. I don't know. I want them to be like strong. Like I don't know how strong, because it's like, how far can they go is what I'm wondering. Basically, like Chopper kind of has like a different thing where he can like he has different stuff going on, but Nami and Usopp, I don't know, but I do want them to be strong. Where they take out enemies, they do all this shit, and they're not afraid. That's really what the Straw Hats need, and that's what like I want for them. Um, we haven't seen any of anyone's true potential of what they've gained yet. Not really. Uh, it doesn't seem like it, at least. So, Yeah, so that shit was that was good. Like at first I was like, oh man, like this time jump, I don't know, but the way that they set everything up, and he puts the hat down, and he's like, "Oh, I'll be back." I like that he didn't wear the hat while he was training, um, and then at the end he ends up, leaving the main. And I just once again, I love how all like the girls are like there for him, like just like see him off, like bye, come back. Da, da, da. I like that. It is like what like that guy like Mihawk said. He has the strongest power here, where he can turn anybody into a friend, basically. Anyone into an ally, and it's true, and it's done in such a way that I really like. It feels kind of realistic, where it's like this guy just is himself and does what he wants, and helps people out, and you know people basically want to be by his side, and I think that was just so good. But so yeah, so I'm excited to see what goes on with that. They showed Princess V, finding the letter and like trying to figure out what it is, like what the secret message was that Luffy was telling everyone. And I wonder if she figured it out or not because she wasn't there. But I'm just wondering. I don't think she'll ever join back with the crew, right? Like I don't know. Like maybe I wouldn't mind it. It'd be pretty cool. Like I like she's the only one I think who's like a part of the crew and then left. Um, besides Usopp, which Usopp was in his bitch mode. Like he did have a little bit of a reason, like I said, but I don't know if I said that. But um, I feel like I don't know what arc I was up to last video, but anyway, uh, just no one's completely left the crew like she has, and once again, it completely felt reasonable, and it's like okay, yes, you need to do this, but I'm just wondering if she'll ever come back, because they leave that door open, obviously, when they do the X on the arm thing, um, and I thought it was weird that they showed her, like they showed her trying to figure it out, which obviously, she hasn't been there for a while. There's been a few changes, but she's there. She's in the Straw Hat crew. Um, yeah, so I'm just interested to see that. I don't think she will rejoin, but I don't know because Luffy, like they always keep saying, like Luffy originally wanted 10 members, and I don't think it's 10. Brook, Zoro, Sanji, Nami. Frankie, Brook. No, sorry, I'm like I have to read whatever, but I don't think it's 10. It's close, but it's not 10. Um, yeah. So I just like I would like to see that because I don't want like at this point I actually don't want anyone else added. It's like this is the gang, right? Uh, so if they bring feedback, that's cool. I don't know, but I'll once again I'll probably maybe I'll be wrong where it's like they introduce a new character. I'm like holy shit, join up, let's go. But at this moment, I'm kind of just like, I want them to stick with V if they're gonna get another, if she's gonna return. So I'm just interested to see what happens. I would have liked to see more of people's reactions to like not only like Ace's death, but just some of the things that they do. Where it's like, oh, they declare war on the government, they destroyed Enies Lobby. Where they're trying to twist it as they're the bad guys. It's like I would like to see the reaction to some of that because obviously they don't believe it. Like they show that where the king's like, he still supports them basically. So that was something else, I guess. But I kind of like to see that where it's like where they start to realize like what the fuck's going on here, like because I wonder how much like if they'll end up turning up against the government, like especially I mean Alabasta, because it just seems like I said, they're going like that's kind of end game where it's like we need to take them down. We need to figure out what happened in the Void Century. I'm just wondering what's happening with the letter D. Uh, what is it like the I don't know like they call it something of D, uh, and anyone who has it, they don't know. Like I don't know, they're important, I guess. But I'm just I'm just wondering how much of Luffy's stuff is like not pre or well kind of preordained. Like because it seemed like, when it first starts, it seems like, okay, he's this young, this kid who decides to go on his own, and he's just not a regular guy, but you know what I mean, like nothing prophesized. But then everyone starts, kind of, he's doing these crazy things, and everyone's like, man, I really don't know how to explain it, but you know what I mean? Yeah, so it's just something where I'm interested to find out what that is. I also love that moment in the bar where they're like, where Usopp asked Roger's first mate if the One Piece is real, and Luffy's just stomps still. He's like, if you tell me, you tell me, I will give up right now. Like, I will quit right now. It's all about the adventure. And it's just like, he's like, oh, okay, my bad, my bad. But man, just the way. Oh, also those fucking Celestials, Celestial something. I fucking hate them too. There's not, like, maybe they'll introduce like a nice guy. Like, there has to be one, right, where they pass down and they've been like, oh, we're not so much above these people. Where it's like, but you're not, you fat fuck. Like, like, so like I said, I'm in the Fishman arc right now. I didn't finish it because I just really like wanted to make a video now, and I'm at the point where the queen left to go to the human place. I'm assuming she's gonna come back. I think so, but it's just like with that guy, I can't, like, I have no, like, I don't know, like, I know you're supposed to be like, oh, like, I just can't feel it. I hate these fucking celestial royals, I think. Um and I wanted them to kill him because they're immediately like shooting everybody and like, oh, we're so much better than you. Those have those fucking tanks on their head, which is obviously for them to not have to breathe the same air as the fucking commoners. Which at that point, it's like you're just insane. So it's like, I really wanted, they had these slaves or whatever. I really wanted him to die. Like, because even the ones in the auction didn't die, but Luffy beating the shit out of him was so fucking satisfying. That was a good one. And I love how everyone just backs him up to like, yeah, my, this dumb captain, whatever. I did like that. That was something where it's like, okay, like, once again, I love all those moments where they're like, okay, like, let's do this. Like, we're a team, will follow you anywhere, basically. And that was just a good moment. But just watching that was really annoying. Like, I actually was upset with that. I'm wondering if we're gonna see that girl again, who was with the Sun Pirates. Uh, I hope so. I kind of like to see her and see what she's doing, and I bet she's like helping, the fishmen and stuff like that. I They show, like, the backstory and stuff, and once again, I'm not completely done with it, but for Arlong's part, I still don't care. I'm kind of wondering how many people like do change their view on Arlong because of this. Like, yes, he has some hard shit, and even me, I was like starting to hate humans. I'm like, fuck you, man. Fuck. But once it, like, I'm, you never go to that point of like everyone's bad, everyone deserves this, everyone deserves that. Even if it's like the majority, which it's not, it's still like, there are those people who want to help, who want to, know what's going on, and they just, what he did to Nami, I don't give a shit. Like, I absolutely don't, and I'm not gonna feel bad for him because he, was mistreated and all this shit. Like, boo hoo hoo. It's interesting how they can make you do that for other characters, but not, for some characters, but not for others. Um, I couldn't fucking, I just could, like, I didn't care at that point. I was like, nah. I, Arlong just, like, especially with the backstory, he went too far. Like, I really don't care. Like, he was gonna kill that little girl. That shit was sad as fuck too. When she keeps smiling and like, it's creepy. She's smiling. It's because she's like traumatized from, like, she's gonna get beaten because she was a slave or killed or whatever. It's like that shit hit. Um, and the end with oh my god, I can't even fucking remember the guy's name. The guy who dies, the captain of the Sun Pirates. When he's like, I can't love humans anymore. Like, after this moment, that shit was so sad too because he really was the one where he's like, you know, like, cared about that girl and really, wanted to see her off and everything. And I kind of get what, like, if they knew where they were gonna go, and they threatened the people of the village, like, okay, we'll let you keep the girl if you give up, the fishmen. I understand why they did it, and I actually don't hate them for it. Um, I just feel like someone ratted them out or something, but it wasn't the girl, obviously. And if it was, I'm just gonna be mad. I'm trying to think. Uh, what else? I can't think of anything else at this moment. Um, okay, so anyway, in summary, really good, still as good. Like I said, man, I just really took it as like, oh, this is so long, whatever. And I'm still watching One Piece, but I am going back and watching some episodes because some episode like there are moments where it's like, okay, why the fuck did you I want to see this. Um, but it's more digestible for me too. But something I want to give this show credit for is I've never had that moment where I don't know if it's like the editing or whatever, where I'm like, like I don't want to keep watching the show. Like I'll get to like that point where I'm like, okay, I just want to finish this now. Sometimes even if I like it, it's just like like end already. But I've like or like, oh, I don't like this arc. Like this is taking forever. Like this is boring. And I was getting there with the Fishman Island. I really was. And then like as soon as they start doing the backstory stuff, I'm like, oh, I'm back in. Like let me see. So I just God, this show is so fucking good, and it absolutely deserves all the shit it gets. It it it's not overhyped, is what I'm saying. Like it's up there. And I do think the show, definitely thinking back on it, it has improved, but it was never bad. Like it was never like, oh, we have to get to Marineford for it to be good. We have to get to this to be good. Like that, yes, that shit's like the peak of like the peak, but it's still not all that it's good for. So, God, this show's so good. Let me know what you think uh, about anything. I don't know. I'm gonna keep watching, like probably right after this. So I'm pretty excited to just keep getting back into it because I love the gang and I love Luffy and I love all the characters. I love Cammy. I love all these people. Um, and it's so interesting how they build out this world and they spread it, and you're still interested, no matter how far removed it is from the gang. They'll tell these backstories, and it's like, oh, it's a character who knew another character who was a big part of something, and then they're telling the story or whatever, they're just showing it. But anyway, sorry, rambling on. That's about it. Peace.